Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to talk about the relational spectrum as I define it in regards to the elevation level or the risk level of this problem as it relates to response and the motives of dogs, basically the picture not lining up. Because just like different spectrums, there can be a autistic spectrum from minor to severe. Here, there's the same type of relational spectrum as it relates to the approach of trainers based on their ideology, okay, how it impacts the thinking processes of the human, the methodology, okay, how that aligns a certain way, speaks a certain language. And so here's the thing, once you really are looking through the relational lens properly, you'll see this, okay, you'll see it, but this group can't see it, okay, they're relationally blind, because here's the thing, they're looking at training totally differently. They're looking at an appearance-based level, based off of response. So they're building this picture using incentivizing the dog, and they don't understand, don't have the insight to understand when you have this picture problem, when things go off the rails. This is why the first thing they'll do is blame the dog. Okay, they'll say, well, it's a problem with the dog. Absolutely not. It's a problem with the approach. It's a lack of insight. So for example, okay, the spectrum goes right from the point of training being what it is, identifying it as such, a relational changing process, and then moving forward from there. So balanced trainers, okay, they fall within that spectrum, okay, and again, that's where problems start. Now again, even within the ideology and the workings of the balanced approach, okay, there's even a risk level that will define itself even within that, the parameters of balanced training, so-called balanced training. But here's the thing, it all merges. So when you get, this is why I say it's all one and the same, basically, because they're all approaching within this same learning-based narrative. So, but the extreme point of the spectrum is when you move off further down that spectrum at the furthest point with those who, approach training full on, okay, as a learning-based exercise. They have this, and how you can frame it up and see that is they have an anti-dominance message. Okay, that's an indicator. Okay, that's a red flag that you're at the furthest point. So depending on, again, these control issues with the dog's level of relational need, that's a dynamic that, understand, still plays into this, but it still circles back to the owner. Okay, so if there's like a formula, I can write it out for people. It will elevate the risk at a very high level. So again, my point is never assume because your dog is looking fantastic at the appearance level in these training classes that things are working out. I mean, that's the point. But again, once you are looking full on the way training is, you can see the spectrum. Okay, you can chart it. In fact, if I walk into a group of 20, individuals in a group session, okay, just briefly looking at their dog, doing a couple things, ask a couple questions, I can pretty much tell you, based on the ideology, who's going to pass or be successful in terms of relational change and who isn't. But trainers aren't going to see it. Okay, I'll be off a tiny bit, but I'm telling you, it's understanding exactly how this sets up. But these trainers, they don't see it, okay, because you have to understand something. They're approaching training differently. They're not identifying what it is. So therefore, you can't control the outcome, okay? If you can't identify what it is, then you can't control the outcome. So that's the point. So anyway, there is a spectrum. There's a risk elevation level, and you can track it right through. So thanks for watching.